Coming to you from the Oddball Podcast Studios in New York City. My name is Vin Forte. You're listening to Oddball with Vin Forte. Go follow the show over on YouTube, youtube.com/@Oddball Podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts from. If you're only watching, watch if you're only listening over on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. You know where to get your podcasts from because you're listening and or watching one right now. Listen, big show today. I don't like to come alone. Got part of the rotating cast in. Here he is.
Yo.
IlFan79, Black Wrestling.
What's
Something
going on?
else.
Yeah.
Where's Buffy?
Yeah.
Where is Buffy?
Man.
It's still coming back?
We shall see. We shall see. It's funny. I was having a conversation about that a few seconds ago. And it's interesting in this space. I always say that consistency is king, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these things are a trained man with moving parts. And the more parts or folks you have, the bigger the thing is, and the bigger the train gets, right? And the bigger the train gets, the faster the train gets to going. Mm-hmm. And once you get that thing stopped, it's always tough to get it back on the train.
Hard to get back on. Well, if you can't get it back going, you know what that makes you, right?
I'm listening.
Real crumb bum.
Got a new soundboard this week.
Uh-oh.
So I'll be looping in some new sounds.
Those things are addictive.
You know what? So if you want to hear about what I did on my weekend,
Vin Forte was a bear.
So you'll learn about. Well, when you say it like that,
was Valentine's.
Well, you know what? When you say it like that, fam.
Yowza!
Outstanding.
Hum diddly dee.
Hum diddly frickin' D.
So those will pop up. You'll hear those and many more popping up throughout the next couple of weeks as I navigate this new weird soundboard I got. But let's navigate some of these topics and get right into it because this is mostly a basketball podcast. We get into other sports as well. Mm-hmm. But, man, what was going on this week with the Super Bowl? Because nobody told me. I guess they've been doing it for a while now. But this is the first time I've actually watched most of a game on the Nickelodeon feed.
Oh, you watched most of the game on there?
Yeah, and apparently I'm not alone because Twitter was all abuzz with people tuning over to the feed. And if you're watching on YouTube, obviously we can't show clips, but basically what the Nickelodeon feed for the Super Bowl was basically like one of those AR, like augmented reality experiences where Patrick Mahomes would run out and he'd have a big pineapple on his head, or they would cut to like Dora the Explorer explaining like some sort of like back rule. First down, yeah. Yeah, back 5 yards, like, and they had Noah Eagle doing
encroachment.
They had Noah Eagle doing commentary, and like Sandy Cheeks on the sideline, and then when they cut to the crowd, maybe the best part of all, they had stuff like LeBron James and Vin Diesel.
Yeah, they did Vin Diesel dirty. LeBron had that hat on. That LeBron is hiding his hairline.
But I know you caught a little of the Nickelodeon. What was your reaction to?
I'm gonna be honest.
Shenanigans.
So I posted, why are y'all not watching on the Nickelodeon feed, right? And then after I posted that, I saw a whole bunch of folks like, "Yo, it's cartoons," and then I start to see it. So I may take the blame for some of who you saw in your timeline rocking it, but so you can see from here, like that's not a fake one of them fake backgrounds from Zoom. This is really my crib, right? So you see the TV here on top here had the regular game, and then down here was the Nickelodeon feed because we had kids over, and that's how we watched it. And it was funny because the Nickelodeon feed was a little bit faster. It was more Taylor Swift sightings. They cut to her because the actual camera angles were different than the normal game. For the most part, it was the same, but there were some instances where they went up and they did those interesting crowd things. They also had like a fake stand, like like people in the stands, and you could tell it was like sunny in there, but like they were playing in the dome, like you know what I'm saying. But it was a fun watch, and little kids that were here that was like, oh, they're getting slime because it's a touchdown, and the field goal graphic came all the way out to like the 30. It was cool. It was fun to watch as long as you had the regular feed there as well to
Oh, you
kind
don't
of.
think you could have done a whole game of just the
No, I'm not
Nickelodeon?
watching. I'm absolutely not watching that whole thing as a feed.
What? Because this was ostensibly a SpongeBob feed. What franchise could they do in AR over a football game that would get you to watch?
Um, mm, Maybe Muppet Babies. I think Muppet Babies would be amazing, right? Because
Just the Muppet themed. Oh, that
because
would
you
be good.
because you have the same thing that you have with SpongeBob. You got a bunch of characters. You know what I'm saying? You get Gonzo come out there and talk about the rules and stuff, and then you
Yeah,
got
Ref
Herman.
Nanny and
Yeah, Nanny is the ref for, you know what I mean? You're just like Nanny, like you just see them big socks in the
yeah.
crowd or something. And you know what I mean? You got Piggy and Kermit and doing the commentary. You got Bunsen and Beaker.
Oh well, no,
doing
you get to do you get Statler and Waldorf to do commentary. That's
so
what
that
you
would
get.
be the actual Muppets. That's different. Oh, look at this guy. Like, yeah, those two dudes, like that would be the regular. I wanted the cartoon Muppet Babies. I want the little ones. Because so you get Scooter and Skeeter. Because Scooter and Skeeter weren't in the Muppets, they was just Scooter. Wasn't no Skeeter.
Right. Scooter and Skeeter.
Scooter and Skeeter. Yeah.
What a name. What a
Yeah,
name.
absolutely.
What a name to give your Muppets.
Shout out to Jim Henson.
Yeah, absolutely. But what was your takeaway from the game in general?
Pat Mahomes is the GOAT. That's it.
Already he's the GOAT? Because I hear this discussion going on all week now where people are like, well, he's got to catch up to Brady. And look, he's got years left. Like, he does have to catch up to Brady.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, if he gets close, will the number of Super Bowl wins actually matter? Or will it just be like a matter of the eye test?
I think I'm a fan of I like numbers, right? But the fact is, shout out to Jay-Z with the men lie, women lie, numbers don't, but numbers do lie, right? I'm more of a fan of talking about the percentage in sports than just the straight numbers, because that's where you get the facts, right? But he's been there, he's either been there or win there his whole career. Like, you can't, nobody's done what he's done in this smaller window. So I would say first 4 or 5 year, Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback of all times, and it'll probably extrapolate out. If it doesn't, then you'll compartmentalize his career as such.
Well, that makes Brock Purdy then.
You're a real crumb bum.
Yeah, makes him Jim Kelly.
Well, that's not the worst thing in the world to me. But speaking of people with sustained excellence, and speaking of LeBron James,
yeah, absolutely.
Came out just yesterday that before the trade deadline, apparently Draymond Green instigated a call to Jeannie Buss and was like, "Hey, what do you think of doing a trade for LeBron?" And I would assume Clay would be in that package. Apparently this was close to happening. I don't know. I'm not buying how close to happening people are making it out to be like this actually was. I don't think this was as close as people think.
See, I think, I don't know if there's a real way to say how close it was, right? Because if she was like, no, and hung up the phone, then okay, they're far away. But if she listened for a second, all it takes is
well, my understanding is she basically passed it off onto LeBron, where she was like, "Hold on, let me talk to the big guy," and LeBron was like, "Nah, I want to stay here." So she kind of threw it in his court, which to me, I don't know. I think that's a bad move as a president of as a president or GM.
That sounds like it was close. Like when you say that, and LeBron was like, "Oh well, I could go." Then it happens. So yeah, then if it went past that first 30 seconds, really of it getting the old gene, then yeah, I think it could happen.
But do you think they should have? Because I'm hearing some people talk today about how they should have just bit the bullet and been like, you know what? Yeah, let's trade LeBron. Now, I don't know if I would trade him to the Warriors because what I would get back, I don't think would be enough to justify it. But I think you do. I think it's getting to that time with LeBron on the Lakers where it's like you do entertain what offers could be out there. I'm not saying there are a lot of great offers out there, but if there are, I think you entertain them because what else could he do? Now, okay, yeah, they could win, first and foremost, but what are the chances of that happening with this current team as presently constructed? And then you have to look at what they've already done. You've had a championship, so he came and delivered. He delivered you a championship. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse ring, it was in the bubble. Your favorite team, whatever team that is that was in contention, everyone, like, it could not have been a more level playing field for everyone who was chasing the Lakers that year. And make no mistake about it, they were all chasing the Lakers that year. You were not going to stop them. So the fact that then everyone got on even ground, you could argue was an advantage to everyone else chasing the Lakers. But you know what? There were a bunch of other teams in contention. They didn't win. The Lakers did. Cry about it.
So I don't think, I think when you talk about the bubble, I don't think you compare the teams to the teams. You compare the conditions year to year. And I think that's why that bubble year should probably get a bit of an asterisk. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's different. It was different the year before and it was different the year after.
Right, but I'm saying...
and I understand why.
I understand why too, but it's also, you could poke holes in literally every single championship every single year. Are we going to take away the Spurs championship in 99 because it was a shortened season?
I don't say take it away, but I think it's okay to look at those a little bit differently.
I agree to disagree. I think that I'm of the opinion that I could argue, and look, people can argue the exact opposite way. I would argue that it was a harder ring to get. A lot of people say it was an easier ring to get for some reason. I think it was harder because you had to keep yourself in tip-top shape, in basketball playoff condition after a big layoff. And that was hard for a lot of people to do. Now, some people, again, go the opposite direction and say, well, people had all that rest. And it's like, yeah, it's rest, but we know what happens when people get a big unexpected, some unexpected time off. It's like, are you going to be like the LeBrons of the world and make sure that you're keeping your body in shape every day? Or are you going to go, oh, great, I've got like a 3-month rest for the playoffs. I'm just going to sit around and get comfortable and then ramp back up. It's like, so I think it could go either way. But back to...
No, but I think that's the thing.
Okay.
I think my point isn't, is it easier or is it harder? My point is just, it's a bit different.
Yeah. No, it is a bit different, but I just think people... I think a championship in any sport is hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And for the length that some people try and poo-poo that championship, I think it gets a little overblown. If you want to put an asterisk next to it, because there were, it's different conditions, like you're saying, I'm fine with that in terms of there's a historical context to it. 50 years from now, people are going to want to know why this championship was played in, in Disney World and not in arenas. Mm-hmm. But as far as like, taking away the importance of it or like, diminishing it, I don't know if people should be diminishing it, but
that's fair.
But back to the original article, the LeBron to the Warriors. I think you do trade him at this point because what else? Again, outside of getting another championship, which I don't know if they're ready to even do right now. I think he's done all there is to do because he got you the one championship. He just got you the in-season tournament, which again people can laugh at, but. We're not going to know how important that is until 10, 20 years from now when he gets graded against people in the future.
That's
And
the
it
last
comes
show I was
down
on,
to,
right?
right, yeah, like when it's like, oh, yeah, okay, this person has 4 championships to this person's 4, but they've won 5 in season tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it'll come into play much later. And then you've got the individual stats and the fact that he kept the Lakers relevant through his own play and breaking, doing things like breaking the all-time points record. So like people act like again, his time on the Lakers has been somewhat of a bust. Okay, if you want to argue it's maybe a little underwhelming compared to what could have been, okay, that he didn't give you multiple championships. Okay, I'll buy that, but I don't think anyone can say it was a complete bust. And I think you
Oh
get
no,
the
no.
most
I
equity
think
for him now.
no. Calling him a bust is ridiculous. I think any time with LeBron James is there's gonna be greatness involved. I mean, he's one of the greatest players to ever, lace up the gym shoes. However, um, you always trade. I'm always an advocate of trading older greats because at the end of it, you just want to get some value. I thought the Ravens held on to Ray Lewis too long.
Yeah.
I thought because they were shopping him and maybe he was just using some of these tips because the word was he was talking to the Cowboys, as a matter of fact. And that was I remember that that Pro Bowl, he was there and they put the microphone in his face, like, what you gonna do? You going to the Cowboys? And he's like, I'll just play here to play football. Like, I don't care, just whatever you do. Just putting that Beijing in your head. But no, listen, I say trade an older player to get some value for him at the end of his career, because all that cute romantic we gonna hold on to him just out of respect. Listen, LeBron's been on 4 different teams. Just go ahead and ain't no loyalty in this. It's business.
Yeah.
It's business both ways. Hey, don't let that man go.
Yeah, he's still going to put up points. Like, you don't want people wondering, okay, did he stick around too long? What happened to that person? Or rather,
What happened to that boy?
There you go.
There we go. Doug Collins with the Birdman.
Is LeBron going to let go? The problem is LeBron needs to make sure he goes to a team where he has say. And I think that's going to be important to him.
Well, I think that's going to come. I think the Bronny situation is going to dictate a lot of it, because right now they're saying that he's going to stay in college an extra year, and I think that's the right call, because again, he came back from having cardiac arrest. Like, that's very serious. Like that.
Yes.
Like, he's not just going to jump into the. Now, could he enter the draft and some team picks him up and puts him in the G League for a little while? Yeah, that could happen. Anything could happen. But I think the smart money is on him staying an extra year. And that's one more year that LeBron's going to be on the Lakers. That's one more year that if they don't win another championship or get close again, that they're going to blame the coach. They're going to say, oh, we need more firepower. We need to, rework the team. Like, the big bugaboo with this Lakers team has been that every year that they don't win, they don't just run it back. It's always got to be like, well, we got to get a new coach. Well, we got to get rid of all these pieces and bring in a bunch of new pieces. Like, people now are saying we got to fire Darvin Ham. We got to get rid of Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. Why? These are all 3 of these people I just named are people you loved, or Lakers fans loved, like months ago. Okay, so maybe they're going through a bad spell right now, but should you not give them the benefit of it? Like, do you have to be so reactionary at every sign of trouble? When,
well, listen, most folks know me, know I'm a Cowboy fan, and the same thing happens. We just had a quarterback have a MVP caliber year. He was in the discussion. You had great defense, and things well. We won the division this year, but it's the Cowboys, right? So we ended the season in a fiery loss, a goddamn fiery plane crash of a loss to the Green Bay Packers. And people are talking about get rid of the head coach, get rid of the defensive coordinator, which, well, I mean, yeah, we lost the defensive coordinator, but he went and got a head coaching job. Because the reality is teams like this, Dallas, the Lakers, the Yankees, One
They
thing goes
always feel
wrong.
like they have to be in win now mode.
Yep, that is what fans do. That fan is short for fanatic.
I don't know. Like, you bring up the Yankees, they're another good example where they're always in contention. Always.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, they've had a couple rough years, especially lately, but they're always in the mix. So when they have a down year, they could be right back in it, 6 months from now.
Because it's a
But
talented team.
right. But then the Yankee fan base, on the other hand, sees it completely differently. Where they're like, well, we need to be in win now mode. We have this legacy of championships. And it's like, dude, you haven't won a championship since '09, and then you haven't been, ostensibly dynastic since the late '90s. I remember, I think it was Aaron Boone had a press conference last season at one point, or I don't know if it was him or Cashman with the Yankees, where they were like, hey, look, we got to admit the rest of the league's caught up to us. And it's like the rest of the league's caught up to you. Like, you got to catch up to the rest of the league. And it's like that kind of, I don't know, it's like that kind of perception where it's like some teams I think just need to humble themselves a little bit and go back to the drawing board and realize that this is a process. Like, these rings are hard to come by. You look at even guys like, we were just talking about LeBron, and you even look at Jordan. 6 rings in almost 20-year career, 4 rings in a 20-year career, and this guy's the second greatest player of all time, deservedly so
Mhm.
by most accounts. But 4 championships, like, that's how hard it is. The second best player of all time will probably retire with only 4 championships.
Mhm.
It's a cold world out there.
Ice cold, man. That's the thing is, I mean, basketball is a team sport. So you
Yeah.
can be the best if you aren't in the right situation. It just ain't gonna happen, man. And I think that's what makes the clear distinction between the two is, a lot of during LeBron's career, a lot of folks ate. You know what I mean? A lot of folks didn't eat during Mike's tenure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and then, well, I've got a whole thing on Michael Jordan. The whole, like, oh, no one ate on Mike's watch. Like, okay, well, we'll get into that another day. But you are correct when you say that when there is sustained greatness, other people are collateral damage. The reason Charles Barkley doesn't have a ring, but he's a Hall of Famer because he literally did everything else but get the ring. Allen Iverson, same kind of deal. Like, there's a reason there's a documentary about Allen Iverson and that 76ers team that's called Everything But the Chip. Because, you still celebrate that team even though they didn't win the championship because they literally won everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. We move forward a little bit. This weekend, All-Star Weekend 2024. What are you thinking? I feel like they've made a couple big changes this year that are very key that I'm excited about, not the least of which is they're going back after 6 years, 7 years to the East versus West format, which they had originally. I looked it up earlier because I had completely forgotten why they originally made the change to like a schoolyard like pick'em format, and it was because the West. They were like, oh, the West is so dominant that it wasn't fair because they had won like the last 7 out of 10 All-Star games, and it's like good. Like, let history show that the West was dominant during that time. Like, I'm fine with that, and I'm we're all on the East. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm gonna assume you're fine with that as well.
I like structure though. I like some sort of parameters. So I'm a
Right.
fan of East versus West because I mean, yeah, listen, I like that structure. I like things to be in that little box pause so we can kind of figure everything out and it's easier to be like, okay, this is what we're supposed to get here, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I like East versus West as opposed to like schoolyard. Like, let me get cut. Let me get cut.
Yeah, and then like especially last year when they did the draft live, like before the game, and it was like 40 minutes of just waiting for people to get picked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that. And then they're trying some snazzy new tricks as well this year. They've got this new this new LED court,
Oh gosh,
and
the epilepsy court.
well, that was going to be my question: is how crazy do you think they're going to get with it? Because I could see this being either really classy, where like as you see on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, it seems like they can just sort of on a dime switch to different colors and themes for what the skill challenge calls for, and maybe someone makes a big dunk, you could have something splash on the floor or something, or like you're alluding to, it could just be lights, 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 all up in your face, and stories coming out after the fact of how like the players couldn't even play on the court because they just can't follow the game, in front of them.
Um, I think we'll get to a point where it's good that the people in the arena can see, because I feel like if not, it'll be just like that yellow line in the NBA. I mean, in NFL.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
not, so I like that they've gotten to a point where people can see what's going on now.
Right. It's not just AR graphics like we were talking about before with the Nickelodeon game. This is going to be live, actually on the court, like right underneath the court.
Correct.
Yeah. And then what do you make of? Because my favorite. Listen, I'm taking a big sigh right now because I want to love the slam dunk contest. I think a lot of us want to love the slam dunk contest, but I think it's time to retire, at least for a little while, the slam dunk contest. When they're bringing back Mac McClung to defend his title, and that's like the big draw, the big get of the slam dunk. Oh, we got McClung back.
Yeah, I think my only problem lately with the slam dunk has been the judges have been trash. Like they've
Well,
gotten
because
it wrong a couple years.
well, the problem with the slam dunk contest in terms of the judging has always been: is this something we're taking seriously or not? Because there's been some years where it's been taken very seriously, where it's like, oh, this guy's like clearly far and away the best dunker in the NBA right now, and this was a cool spectacle. And then, like you said, there's some years where it's like, what are we doing here? Like, are we here to just like joke around, or are we actually judging a contest?
Oh, so to answer that question, I'm okay with either way, but you got to do it differently. If we're here and it's just a fun thing, only have all-stars there, because now we care because they're names. But if this is a serious who has the best dunk kind of thing, then have serious dunkers. All the kids that practice those weird dunks after practice and dunk with their legs straight out and over the, you know what I mean? If you doing all that, okay. But now we got serious. We're not playing around. Nobody, no, oh, I will never give a 10. No, you get that judge out of here, Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? Like you always, you just, I think you have to kind of pick it though. And I'm gonna be honest, you might have two slam dunks. You know how they had like the G League All-Star or whatever? Put all the serious dunkers there, right? That's the real hip hop. But at the All-Star, you want to have a pop contest. You want goddamn D Wade and Wemby and all these niggas, you know what I'm saying? That are actual All-Stars. I don't want to see goddamn Jim Brewer, the dunker. You know what I'm saying? Like, just all right, you get out.
Yeah, well, hold on a second, because you brought up. Hold on a second, because you brought up a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're bringing up the spectacle and then playing up, okay, that this is just we're here to have fun and it's supposed to be entertainment. What do you think of the celebrity game? It's going to be Stephen A versus Shannon this year. Is this going to be is this going to make you
You're
go?
a real crumb bum.
Or is it going to make you go?
Hum
don't know if I'm gonna make either one of those sounds. However, I think the internet videos that are gonna come after guys doing impressions of both the guys on the court like is going to be great. Those are the guys like Lou, whatever his name is. They're gonna do good videos just because these both of these guys are really people do good impressions of them. I can't wait. So that should be entertaining. And I'm just hoping that Cat Williams and Monique show up so they could be on the same team against Steve Harvey and
Yeah.
so Cat can blow his stomach up. Is what he said. I think round his stomach up. What do you mean by that, Cat?
Well, maybe we'll go back to Club Shay Shay. They'll ask it. They'll get to the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm.
But
I already saw that Shay Shay and Mike Epps.
Mike Epps are going to be.
I mean,
I was going to say tying the knot. That's not the right expression at all.
They kissed
burying the hatchet. Yeah.
Yeah, they kissed and made up. They posted pictures earlier. So it's already happened. They've, you know what I mean? They've made peace. They took pictures holding hands. Shay Shay, you still fighting them allegations. Anyway, yeah, I think just you know what I mean? It'll be the spectacle. It might be the most entertaining part of the weekend.
Well, now what about, because the part I'm looking forward to is they're making a big deal about the Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu 3-point contest. The best shooter in the WNBA versus the best 3-point shooter in the NBA. Do you think this is going to be something that sufficiently highlights both athletes, or is there fear that one might completely overshadow the other? Not going to say who. I hope it doesn't happen because I'm a big WNBA fan, but I hope that we are not sitting here a week from now talking about the great performance Steph Curry had and how he completely dominated Sabrina Ionescu, and now this turns into a whole fucking think piece about how, like, well, you see, when you put the men against the women, like, there really isn't, it's not the same.
Got some bad news for you, Vin. Those think pieces are on the way, no matter what.
I know.
No matter what. But I listen. Women's basketball is still having a great moment, especially on the collegiate level. But at the same time, I just don't think. I think it's good. I don't think there's anything bad that's going to come from this, other than the inevitable think pieces. But we already said what they were.
You can't stop that. It's already people have them in their drafts ready to go. The YouTube videos are already in the loaded up and scheduled. But yeah.
I tell you why you shouldn't put a basketball in these broads' hands. I tell you what.
Hey, why can't they put basketball in the kitchen when they're cooking me dinner?
Absolutely. I tell you what. I think you know what, never mind. Yeah, it could be a wild situation. It's going to be but yeah, I'll tune in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't miss too much. Because it's going to be a busy weekend in real life.
Oh, yeah. But speaking of busy situations, did you see the Taco Bell keynote address?
So I heard a bit about it. It was shades of E3 from what I understand.
Yeah. That's exactly. It was like they did an Apple E3 keynote, but for like great. What they're doing this year.
Yeah, what is Key Lime Mountain? What is going on back? That's
well, they're doing a whole thing because Baja Blast is 20 years old this year, so they're rolling out like Baja Blast Gelato and Baja Blast, like basically like a key lime pie kind of thing.
That looks disgusting. Listen, if Taco Bell, if you're gonna do it, do it. So it should be, you know what I mean. The Baja Blast, strain of weed, like, you know what I'm saying? Do it. Like that's what because that's what they want me to do. Right, fam, let's go get some Taco Bell. Like, do it. Lean into it. If you're gonna be Taco Bell all the way.
Yeah, like it was the stuff with Baja Blast, and the other big thing they announced like their usual, like, oh, we got the double-decker taco coming, all the stuff that's like they kind of already do. You know, like they have some stuff that they announce where it's like, oh, this is actually really weird and interesting. And some months they come out with something where it's like, This is just your normal chalupa, but with like chicken and like a new sauce. It's not anything big.
On the inside and the outside this time.
Yeah, you know I gotta say that.
No, so
That's why I have to say at Taco Bell. But give the thumbs up on the screen. But the one thing I am intrigued by is they are going to do a crunch wrap, and the way they presented it was interesting because they're like, you see this crunch wrap here, huh? And then they put like an X-ray machine over the crunch wrap, and it's like, oh, you see what's inside there, and it's a big Cheez-It. So instead of like the tortilla fam, it's like you almost face palmed right there.
I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? So all
the real crazy, all the stoner stuff, the 1 a.m. stuff, you're not down for.
Yeah, no. You know what I mean? I'm into going to a nice spot. I gotta go to a spot where I can eat something regularly, like somewhat normal. I mean, if I'm drunk in the middle of the night, I want something a little more heartier than Taco Bell. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because you're already gonna be in bad shape the next day. You pour liquor on top of whatever you ate, and you're gonna put the grade B minus meat in pause in your yo.
Yeah, you gotta put the minus meat with the minus cheese. Like it's not. You're gonna be in minus 12 by.
Then the guy grading the Taco Bell meat is like, it ain't gonna kill you. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the grade of meat. You can't put that on top of liquor, man. Taco Bell is for the smokers.
I mean, they know it. I'm glad to see if someone's leaning into it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. They got that pie. That pie, like you could skate on top of that pie. That is like so gelatinous and crystalline.
Yeah, it's not gonna look like that. It is not gonna look.
no. It's gonna look like it's not gonna look like Fabuloso. It's gonna.
You know what? That's what they should do. There should be an Instagram page, right? And if y'all steal my idea, at least credit me to this. But like, there should be an Instagram page that should show the food from the commercial next to the food that
the real food.
Got. Like, I would tune into that. You know what I'm saying? YouTube page or whatever. Like, one of these guys that are already doing it, Dame drops. So one of you guys just go get you already getting the food.
Yeah, one of you people who reviews food in their car, like you're already in your car eating.
Yeah. You sound like the Everett College commercial. You're already there. You might as well do it.
You're already there. No, I'm sure there's someone. I feel like there's got to be someone who already does that. But if they do, it's like mixed in with all their other reviews. So at that point, it's like I don't care.
Right.
If I got to do that extra work to do. Speaking of extra work, I do have an extra fast food item to bring up.
Okay.
It feels really lazy, and it just goes to show that like whereas Taco Bell is going the extra mile to lean into the absurd, McDonald's is just all the way in the back of the pack because their big thing this month is they got the a double Big Mac? Yeah, the double Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, cool, I guess. Like, I feel like people wanted that they're already doing it.
I mean, it's basically a double quarter pounder with that little center bun piece and mac sauce, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't excite me. It doesn't tickle me in all the right places. It doesn't do anything.
Hey, listen, McDonald's is a laxative at this point anyway, right? Like you just go there because you know, like it's not cheap anymore, and
no,
I mean, it tastes fine. But like you go into McDonald's, like a trip to McDonald's is always started by, well, I guess so. Like it's not like yes, McDonald's. It's like I guess so. I guess.
Yeah, like not since I was a kid. Was it like, yeah, we're getting McDonald's? Because when you're a kid, McDonald's is like you're going home from someplace you didn't want to go to, but mom's gonna get McDonald's on the way home. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna salvage this whole operation. But like when you're an adult, it's like the same situation. Like, I just got out of the dentist or whatever, and you're like, it's too late to go get a pizza. It's I guess there's McDonald's over. I guess I'll get McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, now when you walked into school with that goddamn McDonald's from the dentist appointment or the doctor's appointment, you were the king. You were like, oh, You had school lunch today. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
These fries are salted just properly.
You know what you were walking around telling people when you came in at the McDonald's.
You're a real crumb bum.
No fries for you.
Like, these are my fries. You get the whole fistful of fries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're all gone. You want the salt? You want the salt left from the fries?
Mm-hmm. Peasant.
You peasant. You crumb bum. Meanwhile, in your head, you're going...
Mm-hmm. Later on, that's exactly what you're going to be... I mean, I'm over 40 now, and I feel like all fast food shouldn't eat that stuff, fam.
No, it's like driving a car and you realize you're about to spin out of control. You're like, well, we're doing this now.
Gotta eat.
Gotta eat. And if you're watching or listening to this, gotta follow fam on social media. Where can they find you?
Yeah, man, fam7 on your social media choice at Where's Buffy, at Something Else Pod, and of course at Black Wrestling, man. A lot of stuff coming up. It's that time of year. So every Thursday night, 8:35 live on the Black Wrestling YouTube, man. Catch me and Tony Brown on the other side of the paywall doing Black Watch, man. I be working. I be working like you.
There you go. Everyone's working.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God. The economy's not great right now. Thank God people are out there working.
Mm-hmm. Because if y'all got to go and make that stuff at Taco Bell, boy, y'all gonna be upset. Oh my gosh!
Look, that is what it is. There's no other way to say. Like you look behind and see what they're doing. They got the little squirt gun connected to the big tube.
Like you laying caulk on the windows. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of caulk guns full of all kinds of squirts. You know what I'm saying? You squirting out the caulk. You know what I mean? Big squirts out the caulk.
Big squirt. And on that note, go follow the show over on Twitter at Oddball Podcast. Follow it on Instagram, which has been getting a lot of play lately. I don't know why the algorithm is chosen to bless me, but whatever. Like, past couple clips have gotten over like 1,000 views. I don't know what's going on, but let's keep it up. So at oddball_pod over on Instagram. And then, of course, if you're only listening to this, go watch over on YouTube, youtube.com/@Oddball Podcast. And with all of that said, look, I just got one thing to say.
You're a real crumb bum.
See you back here, same time, same place. Next week, you'll be listening to Oddball Vin Forte. My name is Vin Forte. Bye-bye.